guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Nancy from nancybadijo.com, and welcome to another episode of Etsy Shop Critique. If this is your first time visiting my channel, you will learn in my channel as a digital marketing specialist. I try to help everyone out there that has a online business succeed. So I help people with how to market themselves online, how to grow their brand, how to have a cohesive look, how to grow their social media presence, and also how to grow their Etsy. If you own an Etsy shop or any e-commerce stores, I will give you pointers on SEO, product photography, having a cohesive look, being able to tell a storyline with your store, and much more. So if you are interested in learning things like this, make sure that you go ahead and subscribe to my channel. So today I'm doing an audit on the store called Annabelle Cole, and the shop owner is Gail. So thank you, Gail, for letting me do a review of your shop. So I did my audit on this actual listing right here. And the first thing I want to talk about is product photography. And that's probably the one most important thing that you could do on a store, especially an online business. In my opinion, it's the most important factor in deciding to buy. So when a customer or a potential customer is going to buy something, or they stumble upon something that they weren't really looking for, the first thing they look at is the photo. The photo has to be enticing, and it's the first thing they look at before they look at the price, the shipping cost, before they look through your store to see your reviews or anything else in your shop. So the photo has to be um, amazing. It has to have it has to be in focus. It shouldn't have any, for instance, any dark backgrounds. It should be very nice, enticing. You got to think about it this way: when you are shopping online versus when you go to an actual store. So when you go to an actual store, you could actually grab the product, you could touch it, you could feel it, you could touch it, you could wear it if you have to. But when you are buying online, all you have is photos. Photos is what is going to sell the product. They can't touch the item, they can't feel the item, they can't even try the item on if they could. So therefore, the photos have to be wonderful. A bad photo will prevent you from making a sale. It doesn't matter how amazing your product is. If your photo is not captivating enough, the person will keep browsing and they will not click on the picture to learn more about the product. So the first impression is, when I look at your photos, um, without reading the listing description, it can be a little confusing on what I'm looking at. When I look at this photo, to me, it does not look like earrings. They look more like maybe a keychain. Um, in my opinion, I wouldn't know what I'm looking at. Now, maybe someone else might, like if you have a different buyer, they might browse through it, see, understand that it is an earring because maybe they have something similar that they have purchased before. But if this is my first time and I never purchased something as beautiful as this, or as detailed or different like this, I wouldn't really know what I'm looking at. And that's an issue, because you want to make sure that when people look at it, the first thing they know, oh, those are earrings. They know exactly what they're looking at. I would highly suggest changing your photos. My best suggestion would be that your first picture would be someone wearing the actual product. That way, it's very clear on what it is, and there's no confusion. So when people are browsing through your photos, they know exactly what they're looking at. And that way, if it's something that catches their eye, or they feel like it's very unique, which your items are very unique, then most likely they'll go ahead and buy it. You could go to Creative Market. Any resources that I mentioned in this video, I will leave them below. There's a text box below this video that you could click, and it will have all the links there. I highly recommend possibly going to creativemarket.com and looking up mock-ups for earrings if they have any. If not, I would highly recommend putting the earrings to someone, taking pictures of it, and making that one as your primary picture. That way, people know exactly what it is. As the pictures progress, I do think that your photos could look way better. Um, there is inconsistency with them. Not necessarily like they're different, but this right here you have like a little bit of a zoom, and then here's a little bit darker and it's less, which is fine. I just think that your photos could look way better. I'm looking at it like this. It really doesn't help me also understand that they're earrings. I would probably still be confused. They actually look like little charms that you would put like in a shirt or something. I apologize if at first glance, I'm not seeing that they're earrings. Now, I do highly recommend changing your pictures for sure. And if you do decide to take a picture of your items, I would change the background. I don't mind a nice crispy white background, but when it's like this and it has like shadows and it's a bit distracting. So I'm looking at this, but then I'm also looking at this right here, like the dark shadows here. And it doesn't make your product look any nicer. The background is not the best background. So I would definitely change it. I also recommend using a company called Watify. And what they do is you could take pictures, whether you use a light box to take better quality pictures of your earrings, or whether you hire like a photographer and have them do really nice pictures for you. Um, Once you have the new pictures and you update them on your Etsy shop, what you could do is run a test for 30 days and see how those pictures do. So you could have, well, what if I does is that for the first 30 days, they don't charge you anything. And what they do is that they take the first two images, so they take this one, and they swap them back and forth for 30 days. And what they do is they crunch the numbers for you, and at the end of the 30 days, to let you know which picture did better, which one performed better. So you could do a picture of somebody wearing the earrings, and then you could do a new picture with a new background of just the earrings by themselves. And then you could kind of see what worked better, what got you more likes, what got you more clicks, and ultimately what got you more sales. Once they run the data and they send you that, your job will be to implement the changes. So if they said that picture A got you more views and more sales than picture B, then you will go back to your Etsy listings and you would change all your pictures so that it implements the first picture that got you more sales. So that could be the grabber picture, basically, that when someone sees it, they feel enticed to click. That's a way to test out your pictures without just taking everybody's opinion. I know that when it comes to having an e-commerce store or having like an Etsy store, um, your skills are creating earrings or whatever else you create. However, we have to wear so many hats. You have to learn not only about product photography, but you have to learn about SEO. You got to learn about, how to write the right verbatim, how to write policy for a store, your about me section. So it's a lot to learn. It is a learning curve. I do think that you do need to put the necessary work behind it. Just change it up and you should see an improvement. If you're not sure, look for inspiration. Check the other stores that are the highest ones that sell a lot of earrings and see what they're doing and kind of get inspired. I'm not saying to go and copy them, but see what's working. Sometimes you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Sometimes it's just looking at someone else's and be like, oh, I like how their background looks, and doing that yourself as well. Additional to changing your pictures, make sure that you try to use all 10 available spots if you can of pictures. Make sure you show off the product in different details and different angles. Make sure that your background is subtle. Make sure you crop your photos in a complimentary way. And then I will also add at the end a call to action. So I will add a call to action saying, click here or click below to view listing description. And then another one that says, click here and pointing to the heart to favor this item. The reason why you want to say that to a customer and have that as a call to action is because now with the Etsy changes that they made recently, when somebody likes your items, anytime that you add additional items to your shop, or if you periodically drop the sales or anything like that, they will get a notification saying, hey, this store just went have new items, or this store just put stuff on sale. And that's a good way to bring back potential buyers that already show interest in your product, that might be interested in going ahead and making the buy right now. Highly recommend changing your pictures, because it's crucial. Don't take it lightly. If you don't know what else to do with it to improve, you might have to invest money in paying someone else to do them for you, which is fine because I've done it before. But you definitely have to work on doing that as well. So the second thing I want to talk about is SEO. So as you might know, you heard of it already. SEO is search engine optimization. And this is the way that Google or any search engine knows what your page is about, is using keywords. It's basically letting them know this page is about earrings, or this page is about whatever you're selling. And there's different factors that play. There's a lot of factors that the algorithm takes in consideration to rank you organically. But the first thing that you have to do is find keywords that are not oversaturated. What I mean by that is keywords that you could potentially rank organically and that not 300,000 other people are using, so therefore making it impossible for you to rank organically in the search engine. So, the tool that I'm using to do your audit is called XErank. If you don't know about it yet, I highly recommend signing up. I have the link below. It's free. You don't pay anything. They do have a upgrade version of it, but the free one actually does the job perfectly. You don't need to pay extra money for it. And in there, you'll be able to plug in your store, and it's going to give you all the metrics and all the information from your shop in one place. And you could do keyword search. You could look at your competitors, see how many sales they make per month. You could see different listings, how those listings from your competitors rank at what page. So it gives you a lot of detailed information. And the more you know about Etsy, the more you know about your shop, the more you know about your competitors, the more money you will make, because you understand it more, you know how to market yourself better. So I highly recommend signing up for XErank. So looking at your tags for that particular listing that we're talking about, you are using a lot of keywords that are, one, very broad, so you're not targeting your audience at all, and two, not only are they broad, but they're very oversaturated, which means that too many people are using the same keyword, so therefore you're not gonna your earrings are not gonna appear in the first, second, or third page of the Etsy search results. If you happen to appear once in a while, it might be because you're paying a Etsy ad. But if you're just doing organically, like you mentioned to me, and you're not using anything extra, it's gonna be extremely hard. And when you do run an ad, your cost per click is gonna be a little bit higher, because there's a lot of people competing for the same keyword. So therefore, they will charge you more for that keyword. For instance, I'll give you an idea of a word that is too broad: minimalist. So this is too broad. A minimalist could be anything. It could be a resume, it could be a shirt, it could be a baby toy, it could be just anything can be minimalist. So therefore, you are just targeting anybody. If your earrings are targeted for women, and you're targeting, minimalist, and somebody's looking something up and they type that in, but they're looking up, let's say a guy is looking up a shirt, they just saw your product, but they're not really interested in it because you're targeting the wrong person. You might get occasionally people that like your product, or they like your page, or they like your item, but why are they not buying? Think about it in the sense that they might like your product, or they thought it was cute, but the reason why your sales are not increased, not only is your SEO too oversaturated with keywords that you can rank, when you do find people that end up going to your store, they're not really interested because you are targeting just pretty much anybody. You're not targeting your audience. So you have to learn about target audience, whether it's through Etsy, whether it's reading a lot of articles, um, buying a book about how to target your audience. But it's very important, because if you are just targeting anybody and everybody out there, you're not going to make the sales that you want. You're going to get a lot of likes, or People are going to stop at your store and they're going to leave because they're not really interested, or their products doesn't fit them because they're a male, or they're not in interested at all. Let's just say that. And then for minimalist, if you were to go to Etsy.com and you were to type in that word, it's going to show you how many other people are using that keyword. So for instance, there's 500,000 people using the word minimalist. So therefore, it's going to be very, very hard for you to rank. And you see how minimalist could be, yes, it could be earrings, but then it also could be a money clip. It could be a wallet. It could be a picture. See, so it's too broad. Like now you're targeting just anybody. So therefore, it's going to be very, very hard for you to rank for that keyword. I highly recommend doing some research, taking the time to do the research, taking the time, the grunt work to find keywords that you could potentially rank for. You have orange, green, white. I mean, orange could be anything. It could be an orange shirt, an orange underwear, an orange ball. It's so broad. So therefore, it's going to be really, really hard for you to rank um, organically. And then also you're just targeting anybody. So you are not targeting your audience. So therefore, you're not going to be able to grow your shop the way that you want to. So I highly recommend that if this is the closest to your earrings, that you use the get keyword ideas, and then you type in what a person that's really interested in your product, what they would type in. So this is going to spit out ideas. It's going to tell you whether you're going to find keywords that are oversaturated, or you're going to find keywords that you could rank for. Now, keep in mind that you are in a saturated market. It doesn't mean that you cannot make money on a saturated market. It means that you're going to have to do more work to make money. Because if you know your target audience, you know, like if female, you know the age, you know the, I don't know, the location, you could run a Facebook ad for $100, drive like 3,000 people to your shop, and close out like, let's say 15% of those people and make a lot of sales. But if you don't know your target audience and you're targeting anybody, and then on top of that, you are in an oversaturated market, and on top of that, your shop doesn't look apart like from all the other stores out there. What makes your shop so much better? What makes your shop look nicer? What makes them want to buy from you versus the other shop? If you don't have all those things together, then it's going to be really hard for you to make the money that you want, which will be probably, if you currently work, maybe quit that and do this as a full-time job. As you can see, it's very oversaturated. You're going to have to play with this. You see, I can't even find any right now. I don't think this matches your earrings that you currently are selling. So you're going to have to keep coming in here and keep changing it around until you find the keywords that somewhat describes what you're selling. Maybe these funky long earrings, I'm not really sure if that would fit yours, but it is at least a keyword that you could rank for. And you could always try to rank for keywords that are the closest to your product and kind of see how they go. Now, don't just pick anyone, or don't just pick this one here because it's low competition and you could rank for, because at the end of the day, if somebody was to type in gingerbread earrings, but your earrings are not gingerbread, they're not going to want to buy them because that's what they were looking for. So make sure that anything that you do find is somewhat specific to what you're selling, or as close as possible. Don't just pick just random keywords just because they're low competition. But you definitely have to come in here and you're going to have to do this. You're going to have to change it up, change the verbatim around until you find additional keywords that you could potentially rank for. Once you find those relevant keywords that people usually type on search engine, then you will go back to your listing and you will change those to the new keywords. But you definitely have to do a little bit of the groundwork in trying to find keywords that you could potentially rank for. Once you do find the keywords, they say you come through here, you do the changes, you kind of look through all these keywords to see what else you could find, and you keep browsing. Then you find, may let's say you do find some additional earrings, I'm sorry, keywords for your earrings. Once you do that, then you want to go back to your listing, and you want to put in the keywords here. You want to separate them by commas. You don't want the slash. So you want to remove the slash. So you want to say, they say this is a keyword here, comma, colorful earrings, comma, marble earrings, comma, and so on. So once you do that, let me check this one actually for keywords for you. Let's go back real quick. I didn't think about that one. I think that one is a good one. So let's go in here. So once you do that, let's go in here. Give me 1 second. Just wanted to see if internet's a little slow, if that one will be a good one. Yeah, it's oversaturated as well. Look at that, 17,000 other people are using that keyword, and that's why you're not ranking for it as well. This one might be a good one, mismatched earrings, since you have like different patterns on it. So what you want to do is find all the green ones first, and then use yellow ones as an alternative. Because the green ones are low competition or very low, so they're going to drive you a little bit more traffic than the medium competition. However, if you find medium competition, this one might be a good one as well. Then you want to stick with ones that have under, in my opinion, under 7,000. If you can't find any, then go ahead and use any medium that you find. But if you could find some that are under 7,000, those will be a better bet, because then it'll be easier for your store to rank organically also. I have found that if I use over 7,000 listings that other people are using it that much, I found it hard to rank for. So that's why I always stick with under 7,000. So now let's say you did the research, you got new keywords. Make sure that you put the keywords here. Make sure you separate them with commas. Make sure that the low competition ones are in the front. Try to fit as many keywords as you can. And then also try to put the keywords in the listing description. So your listing description, the first 160 characters is called the meta description. And this is what it looks like. Let me show you. So the meta description is when somebody searches your item on the search engine and a snippet comes up, and it's the title of the item, and then on the bottom it has the actual listing, like a title for that listing. Now you have to make sure that your meta description, which is right here, the bottom of that, is enticing, that somebody's going to want to click there. So this is taken from your listing description right here. You see? So you want to make sure this is a SEO factor, that is an off-page factor that they look at. So you want to make sure that your keyword, if this is your main keyword, that you have your main keyword here, and you have it here as well in your first 160 characters of your meta description. So you want to work on that. You don't have that right now, so you do want to work on that, because this is what people see. This is a preview that people see on Google, and this is what's going to entice them to click to visit your actual shop. So you want to make sure that you work on that and you craft a caption that's very compelling and that someone's going to want to click and view that item. So the third thing that I want to talk about is the listing description. So think about it in this way. The picture is what got the person's attention. SEO is what made them found the picture. But the listing description is what ultimately closes the sale. It's what they're going to click on to buy your product. So your listing description has to be really, really, really good. It has to describe your item. You have to put the most important things in there. You have to put like the size, the shape, the color, specific information about that product, the shipping policy, if you have a return policy, if you have an exchange policy, how can they contact you? The listing description plays a significant role, whether you make a sale or you don't make a sale. So you have to make sure that you don't overlook it and that you take the time to craft what I call a killer description. that you are describing the item to the T, that when somebody's reading it, you're answering all the questions that they potentially might have. One, this helps build credibility. Two, it lets them know that this is a real business and that you took the time to write the details of what you're selling. Three, it avoids any confusion. And four, it will close out the sale. They will be like, oh, okay, I have all the information I need. And also, it will help unnecessary messages. You will get unnecessary messages to your inbox asking you questions about what's the shipping policy, or what about exchanges, do you have any? But if you have that already in there, then it avoids all those unnecessary questions, confusion, and hopefully it will go ahead and spark the person to want to click on the buy me button now. Looking at your listing description, you definitely have to work on it. You only have sales details, and then you have like a little line here that you talked about the earrings, but you really didn't write anything else. Honestly, this is not acceptable, because what happens now is that when people are browsing to your shop, they don't have any details on it. A lot of people are clueless about using Xe. They don't know that they could go to your homepage and possibly go on the bottom and read your about me section, or read your policy section, right? And kind of get more details. Wishing both you didn't do it either, but they don't know how to do all that. Some people do have that fill out, but they don't have the listing description fill out. So therefore they think, oh, well, I have my policy rules, or I have my about me section filled out already, so they could read it there. A lot of people don't know how to use it to that length. So you have to make it as easy as possible. You have to make the buy as easy as possible. As of now, you definitely have to work on this listing description. You have to take the time. You have to treat this as a real business. You can't say you want to grow your store, but then you're missing half of the stuff that you're supposed to add to your store. So you definitely have to work on that. It's something that's going to help you build credibility with your buyers, and hopefully make more sales in the near future. Now, the last thing that we want to talk about is the curation of your shop. And the curation of your shop is just making sure that you have a cohesive brand throughout your shop, that you have your About Me section filled out, that you took the time to curate beautiful images. Everything goes together, everything looks like it's coming from the same shop, that you treat this as a business. You don't overlook small details, that you have your, like I said earlier, About Me page, you have your story, you have pictures about who you are. People want to build that trustworthiness with your shop. They want to know who you are, why they should buy from you. They want to know how you got started in selling earrings. What is your story? People are emotional buyers, and things like that really work really well when it comes to Instagram. I'm sorry, when it comes to Etsy, because then people read that and they'll be like, oh, she's a mom of two, or she's this or that, and they'll end up buying from you. But as of now, you do need to work on your photos. If I look at this photo online, and then I look at that one, and then I look at this one, and then I look at that one, it looks like it's from 4 different shops. I wouldn't say, oh, those come from the same shop. They look very different. So I would definitely work on your curation of your shop. I will also work on your banner. If you look at the most prominent shops out there, they have amazing cover photos. Like their photos, they include their website link, they include their social media links, they include their hours of operation, maybe their email and how to contact them. But it's really, really nice when you have a really nice banner to stand you out. So think about it this way: what makes you stand out from all the other million stores out there and see that sell jewelry? Why are you so different than them? Why should I buy from you versus them? What makes your shop so much more special than the other ones? That's what you have to think about. And you have to definitely work on creating a banner. If you can't do it yourself, there are a lot of softwares out there for free, like Canva.com. You could create a banner, the Etsy banner. You can actually go to Etsy and buy a banner from someone on Etsy. There's a lot of graphic designers that sell banners. If not, you could go to a website called Fiverr.com, where I buy some of my banners, and you could go in there and buy a cheap banner. They'll charge you cheap because it starts from $5 and above, and then you could find people that do very, very high quality banners out there, and they come out beautiful. Um, Definitely work on changing your picture here. I would include a picture of yourself versus having both pictures the same, because this is your profile picture, which is like almost like your logo, but here should be a picture of yourself. I do like that you have a tagline, and that you have your location, so that's great. Um, your about me section, you don't have it filled out, just have like a little sentence. So I would definitely work on doing that. Take the time to talk about who you are, what's your passion, how you got started, why they should buy from you. Maybe take a couple pictures of you doing the earrings or working on them or taking pictures of them. Just make it more personal. People want to connect, and you don't have that right now. I will also include your policy section. You don't have that set up. It's important that you do that, because if somebody buys from you and then later on they have an issue with something, the Etsy will take side on the customer, because you don't have anything filled out, so they can not agree with the customer at that given moment. So you have to make sure that you take the time to do those things. Um, Once you do all these changes, right? You do the pictures, you do the new banner, you do your about me section, you do your listing description, you do your new keywords, you do the photography, you add call to actions to your page. I will highly recommend paying attention to your key performance indicators, and that basically means checking your metrics every month. Setting up Google Analytics is free. I have a video on that. That way you can know where your audience is coming from, so you can understand who's clicking on your links, where they come from, what age, if they're women, if they're male, and so on. These are important things that you should be learning about your shop. And paying attention to those key performance indicators will help you understand more about your shop. The more you know about your shop, the more money you make. And once you know more about your shop, then you'll be able to see what items are selling and what items are not selling. So therefore, focusing your energy around the actual listings that people are buying versus the ones that they're not. So then when you find out what are your top lines or the things that you're actually selling the most, creating like a robust line of out of those items, and that will help you develop one, like a almost like how clothing lines do, like a line of different things that go with that particular item, and hope potentially, if you're able to do that, potentially increase your sales because people are interested or shown an interest in those particular items. I can't tell you or emphasize how important it is that you make these changes, because you are competing with so many people in Etsy that if you don't set yourself apart, it is really hard for you to make money, no matter how great your product is. If your store it doesn't set itself apart and doesn't look professional, it doesn't have everything filled out, it will be really hard for you to get sales or to make the type of money that you want to make. So therefore, especially because you're in an oversaturated market, so therefore you're already competing with so many people. I did click on the link that you gave me for your Instagram. However, it doesn't work. It says an error occur. And then when I type it in, I type in your, oh, now it's working. Okay. So earlier it wasn't working. So I apologize. It could have been maybe my internet connection. Um, so looking at your Instagram, right here it's a little hard to read because you have flowers behind your the name of your shop. I would kind of fix that a little bit, only because it can be hard to understand. Also, in your shop, you're able to add on the About Me section, you're able to add your Instagram account. I would highly recommend adding any social media platforms that you currently have: Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and so on. Um, Again, it's the same thing. You need to update your photos, make sure that your photos are beautiful, that they're cohesive, that they have a nice background, that they don't have the shadows, that they're clear. Um, Also, sharing who you are, talking about who you are.